Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology.
I am Dr. Usha, Associate Professor of CSC Department, Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology. Today I am going to talk about introduction about network security. So first, before going to network security, we will see what are the points we are going to discuss in this video. So we will be seeing about what's a network, what is the OSI architecture, then we will be seeing about the security principles as well as the models, what are the models and mechanisms, and finally a OSI network model. So now let me see. What's a network? So network is nothing but a connection of one or more systems which are linked with a communication channel so that they can exchange some messages. So we use network for exchanging some informations. Okay. So as we exchange informations, what happens is there is a possibility of leakage of informations. Okay. So before going deeper into it, let us see about the OSI network model. How a network is structured. So a network usually has some 7 layers. You have physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer and application layer. So we'll see the functionality of each layers. So we'll see the physical layer. Physical layer is nothing but it's going to deal about how the nodes are connected, what is the physical link you're going to offer. And data link layer is nothing but here it is going to say, it is going to speak about what type of data format it is going to convert and send the data. And network layer is nothing but it's going to provide the mapping of your network address with your IP address. And transport layer is mainly used for connecting two nodes. It is mainly used provides a connection between two or more systems. And session layers it is mainly used for maintaining the communication because each and every node may have some communications depending upon the data they are going to transmit. The session will be maintained. And presentation is nothing but here you are going to speak about how you are going to present the data to the users. And application is nothing but it's going to deal with the user interface screen, your GUI screen. So normally we just see the GUI screen, okay. So we will not be able to see the remaining layers. The user will be able to see only the application layer. Now let's go to the next one, our main topic, security. As we know that we all connect to a network and we do a lot of data transfers. Okay, so because of this, there is a possibility of as the data is moving freely in the network, there is a possibility of threat to our data. Some unknown person may misuse the data, they may hack my data, and they modify it and do all sorts of data breaches. So for this purpose, we need security. We have to implement some security to a network. Okay. So there are 3 types of securities. One is computer security, information security, and network security. So we'll see what is computer security. So for one by one, computer security is nothing but how you are going to provide protection to your computer. So like your PCs or laptops, every system has some data in it. So you can provide protections by setting passwords, by locking them, by making some patterns so that only the authorized persons will be able to access the data. Next, we will be seeing about information security. So information security is nothing but here you are going to provide security to your data as well as information system. So this can be done by setting passwords. Similarly, you can do setting passwords, you can encrypt the data, etc. All you can do it. So why you do all these things is so that no unauthorized access, unauthorized people doesn't access your data, they don't disclose it, they don't delete it or modify it. So when you provide security to your information, only the authorized person will be able to access the data. And now let's come to a topic, network security. So network security is nothing but it's going to be, deal about with policies and tools which are implemented so that whatever communication you deal in the network, they are safe and sound and no data breach occurs in the network. Okay. So why we need this network security? What is the need of this network security is to maintain, to have a confidential information exchange, to make sure that only the authorized persons can access the data, to maintain the secrecy of information, and also to avoid leakage or modification of data by any unauthorized person. Only the legal users or legitimate users will be able to access the data and they will be able to modify the content. And if you want to implement this network security in your communication model, we have to make sure that we maintain these 3 security principles. One is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality is nothing but it is dealing about maintaining the secrecy of the information, how the information is maintained. Only the authorized person will be able to disclose the information. It is not revealed to unauthorized person. Integrity. So integrity is nothing but it is going to speak about originality. The originality of the information should be maintained. So whenever you implement these any security principles in a network, you have to make sure that you maintain confidentiality, integrity and availability. So availability is nothing but always whenever the user logs in, the network and the resources should be always available to the user. So this is the confidential CIA triad. So the principles or policies, whatever you are going to implement in the network, it should be maintained. And this is nothing but CIA, confidentiality, integrity and availability, which we saw in the previous slide. And next we will see about the network model. So a network model usually consists of a sender and receiver, because we communicate. One person will be sending the message, the other will be receiving. Okay, a sender will send a message. We don't send the message as such because we want to maintain some confidentiality in your communication. So we use some mechanism so that we convert the message into a secure message and then transmit to the information channel, so that when the message reaches the receiver side, you also apply the same secure principles and read the message. Okay. So here the secure principles are nothing but you use encryption or decryption by using these techniques. So the sender will encrypt the message to get a secret message, and this message will go in information channel, and once it reaches the receiver side, the receiver will use the opponent or the opposite algorithm, namely decryption, and try to get back the original message. And this is a framework. So whenever you want to implement a network security principle, you have to follow a framework. The framework is nothing but an OSA security architecture. It offers three principles. One is security attack, security mechanism, security services. So we'll see the attacks. So attack is nothing but a threat or danger to your communication channel. Okay. So normally in a network you have two types of attacks: active attacks, passive attacks. So active attacks means this is further classified into interruption, modification, fabrication, and similarly a passive can be further classified into interception and traffic analysis. So let's see the attacks one by one. So first one is, this is like an attack, okay, a general attack where you have two persons, Alice, Bob. The Alice is going to send a message, okay, he is going to send a secure message. So there is a possibility of an attacker called as Trudy. He may create a new path. He may take the message whatever sent by Alice. He may do modification and then send back to Bob. So he is sending the message to Bob in such a way that as if Alice has sent the message. For example, Alice is sending hi. So what this Trudy will do is he'll convert this hi to hello and send hello to Bob. Now Bob will have assumption that I got a hello from Alice, but actually Alice has sent a message hi. So this has been modified by a person called Trudy. This is nothing but an attack. Okay. So active attacks is nothing but these are the attacks which will try to alter the resources or modify the content of your data. Okay. So you have four types of active attacks. One is masquerade, replay, modification of message, and then denial of service. So masquerade means here's nothing but just now I said here Bob wants to send a message to Alice. Actually Bob is not sending. So because he knows the person called Dat, he is an attacker. So here we have three people, Bob, Dat and Alice. Bob is not sending any message to Alice. Here Dat, what he will do is he will use the ID of Bob and then he create a message and send to Alice. Now what Alice will think is that Bob is sending a message, so he will reply. So masquerade is nothing but pretending he is going to reveal the identity. So the Dat is going to use the identity of Bob and send a message to Alice. That is called as masquerade. And next one, replay means already Bob has sent some message to Alice. Now what this person Dat will do is he will collect all the messages whatever Bob is sending, he will take it. Okay, he will not transmit. So this connection will be stopped. Whatever Bob is sending, this Dat will take all the messages and he will hold all the messages. Okay, and he will send them one by one whenever he is in need of it. So for example, if Bob is sending 10 packets, okay, so Dat will take all the 10 packets. He will be sending only one packet to Alice. After some time, he will send the second packet. The second packet will be sent multiple times. Now what happens, Alice will come to a conclusion that I received 10 packets, so he will stop the communication. So replay is nothing but sending the same packet multiple times. And next one, modification, again I told you. So Bob is going to send a message hi to Alice, but actually Dat has taken the control of the communication. So whatever message Bob sent, this Dat will take the message, he will modify it. For example, I am sending hi, so he will modify the message hi to hello, and then hello will be sent to Alice. So Alice will get a hello message, which is nothing but a modified message. And last we have denial of service. So denial of service is nothing but here, suppose Bob wants to have access to server. Now Dart will do what he will do is, because he already knows that Bob is going to communicate with server, he will send some dummy request. He will send some multiple requests so that he will make the server always busy and does not provide service to Bob. That is nothing but denial of service. So denial of service is nothing but here the attacker will try to disturb the communication between the user and the server by sending some dummy packets. And next we'll come to passive attacks. This is the other category where the attacker does not modify the message, he will just view the message content. For example, you have two types of attacks. One is release of message content, traffic analysis, and then eavesdrop. So eavesdrop. So here release of message content, I told you, right? So he will not do any modification. So whatever message Bob is sending, Bob wants to send to Alice, this attacker named Dart, he will get the message and he will not send to Alice, he will send to some other user, or he will release the message to some other user in the network. Actually, so what happens is Alice will never receive the message. That is nothing but release of message content. Second one is traffic analysis. So here these two people are communicating, Bob and Alice are communicating. Dart, what he will do is he will not have any access, he will just see how long they are communicating, what type of information they are communicating. So based upon that he will be able to identify what is the actual data transmitted between Bob and Alice. So he will analyze what type of data they are transmitting, how long the communication is going on, all these things. So he will analyze all these traffic parameters and then come to conclusion. He will itself frame a message. So this is what the message they are trying to send. So that is nothing but traffic analysis. And then, so you have these two attacks. So these two attacks are very, very critical in a network. So you should avoid all these attacks, okay. So if you want to avoid all these attacks, then we have to follow some security services. So whatever architecture I am going to implement in my network, that should offer these security services. One is confidentiality, authentication, integrity, non-repudiation, access control, and availability. So confidentiality is nothing but whenever a person comes to my network, they should feel safe. They should feel safe that no one is able to disclose my message. Only the authorized person will be able to access the message. Authentication means, second one is authentication where only the authorized person. So whenever a user logs in, first his identity will be verified and then only he will be able to provide access to the data. Integrity is nothing but here the originality of the message will be maintained. And non-repudiation is even if the sender or receiver communicate, even if they do any false transmission, they cannot deny a network because they are already registered users and they cannot deny in the network. And then access control is for every user in the network, a prior list of access control will be given. So what are the files each and every user can access and what type of communication they can do, all these things will be already priorly described in the policies. And last one, availability. So whenever a registered user logs in, always a network service should be made available to the user. So these are the security services which a framework should offer. So whenever a user, whenever an organization wants to implement the security services or security framework, they have to make sure that all these principles are implemented in the framework. And last one, mechanisms. So even though I implement all these mechanisms, all these security services, everything, but still I get some threat to my data. So what I do is I implement these mechanisms. One is encipherment, digital signature, access control, data integrity, authentication exchange, traffic padding, and routing control. So depending upon the application and depending upon the data's severity, I may implement any one of these security mechanisms so that I can safeguard the data and it will be accessed only by authorized person. Thank you.